God, you know.
Oh, that's true.
We've got it going on. Issy, good to see you. How are you?
See you too. I'm very well, thank you. And you're looking so fly.
Thank you. We try.
I see that.
Lady lawyer.
Yeah,
How are you?
I can be better, but thank God. I almost didn't make it because I've been having this banging headache.
Oh.
I've gone through tests and I don't have malaria, I don't have typhoid. So
Pressure?
depression,
Blood pressure?
I've checked it, fine. So I think it's stress related.
Stress,
Yeah.
exactly.
So,
Stress
yeah,
related.
yes. So
Sometimes
Sometimes
easy.
the body has
yeah.
its way to
Ah,
just
did
tell you, you know what,
yeah,
I'm
I need
tired.
to-
Take a
yes,
chill
I
pill.
Time out.
Yeah.
I am.
Yes.
Yeah. Today I had a bit of road rage coming in. Like,
What
I don't know,
happened?
it seemed like everybody was trying to get on my nerves. And normally, I drive with a lead foot. But coming in today, I just thought, why is everybody trying to try me? And then just before I got here, I looked up and I saw the moon. And I don't know if any of you looked up and saw the moon tonight.
I
When
did
you're
not.
going home, you should. It's a gorgeous,
Full.
gorgeous full moon.
Oh.
And I haven't noticed it in a long, like whoever looks up these days, right?
Oh, my
Nobody.
daughter did yesterday.
Yeah.
Too much traffic.
I just,
You just want to get home.
you keep
Exactly.
focusing and you just never think about it. But I'm looking forward to today's topic. It's going to be a hot one.
I know. Is always on topics like that.
So here's
so
what
are
we
you.
found. Here's what we found as today's quote. It's men who trust they will suffer no consequences for their actions, while women suffer no matter what they do. And that's by Megan McLean Ware. Can you pick out what the topic is? Well, we know, so let's keep the suspense going. But I mean, that statement for me just reads so true. What do we think?
That's what it is. Most times people think they can just get away with things, but somehow, like they say, what karma will happen, or, you know, somehow there are consequences for actions. And no matter how long it takes, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And most times, what happens in our society is that we have actually given the men that respect, or should I say that
Privilege.
to take control of what is supposed to be shared or what's supposed to be ours. So basically, we need to take control of what we have.
Any thoughts?
Can we actually? Do you see any end?
No.
That's
In
why
this
we're going to-
generation.
There is no end. Let's
But
be serious.
I'm so happy that we are talking about it. We are having
Absolutely.
conversations.
We
We are
can keep talking
pushing,
about
and
it.
we will definitely get there. Maybe not in our lifetime.
Yeah.
But at least we've gone a long way.
We've come a long, long way. And it's important for us to keep talking about it. I think that for me, when I saw this quote, I thought to myself, actually, we don't do it consciously. But a woman is always calculating, always checking, always thinking. We doubt even the skills and the abilities that we have. But a man,
They just go
like,
ahead and
I got
do
it, I got it. Even my son, I mean, how old is he? And I'm saying, be careful. I know, mommy, I got it. I'm thinking, got it from where? The next thing you're going to hear, oops. But his first
It's action.
instinct is, I got it, I'm fine, I've got this.
He's a man.
And me, I'm still there thinking, they say I'm good at this, am I sure? Okay, let me try it.
So-
Today I believe it,
I
tomorrow
think
I
we're
don't.
wired to.
So,
we're,
are you
we're
saying
wired
that
to
that's
do that.
a woman thing? Is
To
that what you're
second
trying
guess
to say?
yourself?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it is.
I just said we are wired.
I agree. I'm
We're
not
wired.
sure.
It
You're not
is.
sure?
No.
So I think that in
People are
terms
different. Men, and there are men who second guess. I feel it's a little bit general. There are men who second guess themselves. It's about your person, your personality. And it could be a man or a woman who could have those traits that make them to second guess themselves.
But I
to
think-
deeply, or to, probe further before they take action.
But
Instead-
I think what she's
even-
saying is
I
generally
think I understand
men
Yeah.
do just act. While women, we tend to,
Generally-
process it before we act.
Generally,
Is
a
that
lot
what
of
you're
men-
saying?
Speaking.
Isi?
Yeah,
Correct?
so I think that we
Yes.
just have men just sort of jump in. Now this is in terms
Again,
of
that is
generalizing.
general.
Yes,
So,
generally.
I'm not even going from it. Would I say it's generalizing? Of course, everybody suffers from self-doubt every once in a while.
Absolutely.
But I find that women are a lot more calculating. We think about things. We process
Process
things a
it
lot
before
more.
we act on it.
Because men just like, you know what? I can. Why can't I? And they just jump into it. But we process everything. We think what will happen, what might not
Consequences.
happen. Exactly.
I think it's nature.
Yeah, I
Because
think
women
in a
are
way,
nurturers.
Is it? Yeah, I think in a way, let me say it's programming. The way we've been programmed.
We've been
the
wired.
culture.
That's where we're coming
Yes.
to.
The culture.
So hold that thought.
Exactly. The way we've been
And we
wired.
will come back to it.
Exactly.
But, you know, today we're saying, be it personal, professional, or family, it is fair to say that all relationships have felt the effects of patriarchy. Did you guess that's what we were talking about? I hope so. Have you had a relationship impacted by it? And if so, how did you deal with it? Tonight is our ladies' night out, and Lami, Isi, Noma, and I will discuss this. And when we open our phone lines, we would really love to hear what you have to say too. But first, let's take a quick break to see what we found in the news. You're still watching Ways. Today is National Handshake Day, a holiday that takes a closer look at the act of shaking another person's hand. Now, in the wake of COVID-19, one could argue that the act of shaking hands is dead. But it's important to celebrate more for what it stands for as opposed to the physical act itself. The handshake is one of the oldest greetings done by mankind to show goodwill to a person. Celebrated on the fourth Thursday of June since 2005, it pays homage to the multi-generational ritual of using the handshake to reach out and welcome others and offer a gesture of friendship, peace, and forgiveness. You would agree with me that we could certainly use more friendship, peace, and forgiveness in these divisive times. Totally agree. I mean, when I saw this, I thought, handshake, is it relevant? Should we talk about it? You know, maybe more like, you know, well,
elbow shake,
fist bump day, or you know, elbow tap. But it's so important. I mean, just that first impression of a firm handshake. It says so much.
You know, back in the days when they said you can tell a lot about a person with a handshake.
Absolutely,
correct?
yes.
So it's still part of our society. It's still something that we should do. Even in the wake of COVID, I think it's something we should still.
People are still doing it.
Yes,
Yeah.
especially if you have your hand
Sometimes you
sanitizer.
just forget.
Yes.
You see someone you haven't said, oh, wow, good to see, and then you remember, oh, COVID.
Oh, then you
But
put out your
prior to
sanitizer.
COVID, I've never been a handshake person.
I've always
Are you
been
a
a
hugger?
handshake.
Yes,
Ah.
I don't.
No, I'm a
hands.
shaker.
So I didn't really miss it. I've not missed that part of my life.
I'm a hugger, but I think I still shake.
I think
no,
it's
I
masculine
shake.
to shake.
I
Yeah.
shake. I
It's
shake.
not.
I think it's
not. I
masculine
think
for me. I think it's a
your
masculine
handshake
thing.
says a lot about
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are even types of handshake. There's the dead fish. Like, I don't want to shake you. So I
But
just
just in
The
case.
tip.
and
worried.
then there's the bumper, you know, the one that
You-
instills
Yes.
confidence in you know,
Exactly.
oh, this person
A
is
grip.
It's
So
a good,
it
it's
says
got
a
a
lot.
good
I'm a hugger.
Absolutely.
For me, my own hug has different levels. Side, full, like this, you know, different kinds of hugs.
So we're not going to shake, but let's make sure that we keep the goodwill going.
Absolutely.
So let's get on to what we found in the news. I'll start from Noma. What did you find for us?
Okay, so there's the wake of this controversy about a 21-year-old UNILAG student that killed or is alleged to have
Murdered.
poisoned and murdered the CEO of Super TV. And this has been raising a lot of, thoughts, and people are just talking. There's a lot of controversy going on. So they say that she stabbed him several times in the thigh, neck, and so on, and then used his ATM card to withdraw funds, and somehow that the only person that came to visit her in the Airbnb apartment where they were was some carrier who came to deliver probably the poison that she used for him. But there's also the controversy that say, or people who have said that it can't be true because of the person that Mr. Usifataga was, that he was a very respectable person, that he could not have been found in a place like that doing whatever they said they were doing. So it's still unfolding, let me put it that way, but there's the thought that it might be business partners, or it might be that somehow that there's this conspiracy going on that people are not sure. But for now, the girl, the 21-year-old Chidima, is the one that has been accused.
But she's
confessed.
But she's owned up to
Well,
it.
all of that could unfold, yes, but there's still
Investigation
doubt.
continues.
There's still doubt, so the investigation is still going on, but it's really sad. It's really sad because I heard that it was like a breakthrough company or thing that they were going to do with the company, Super TV, somewhat like Netflix, making viewing almost free. And so the controversy is there that it would have run some businesses out of the way. So somehow
so
everything has
maybe
been
the lady might have been a bait to
something like
just
that.
to deflect from what the real
so
issues are.
Nobody really knows, but that's what is in the news, and people are still speculating. I heard one or two people, funny enough, I spoke to someone this evening who probably knows him up close and says that it could not be possible. So I'm like, okay.
Well, the
That's where
story
we are.
will unfold and we'll see.
But it's
how it
very
goes.
sad
It is sad.
because
The
his
life has been
birthday
lost.
was. I
Yeah.
hear
It's
his
a few
birthday
days
is
few
away.
days
Away.
on Wednesday.
The
So
50th birthday.
he's
so
supposed
I
to be
heard.
50, and your life is just cut short in a brutal way.
Way.
It's
sad.
terrible.
So sad.
And it's heartbreaking.
Well, may his soul rest in peace. We pray
and
for
condolences to his family.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Issy, what have you found for us?
Okay, this story struck me because we're talking about patriarchy, and it's kind of related to patriarchy because a former legislator who is called, her name is Nimota Ibrahim. She said that sexual harassment is militating against, is a problem in Nigerian politics, in Nigerian politics. So the headline, which says sexual harassment militating against women in politics, says legislator, was what actually struck my attention. So it says a former member of Kwara State House of Assembly, Nimota Ibrahim, has said sexual harassment from the male folk was part of the challenges confronting female politicians in Nigeria. And she also said that the fact that they also come out late nights at all times in the day or at night to have their meetings also, makes the female politicians have less time or will not be able to participate in political activities, basically. So based on all of these, patriarchy still comes to play because they will not be able to express themselves or be able to participate in politics the way they would really want to. So she's also encouraging women to also step up and participate in politics, irrelevant of what is happening in the system.
Okay.
My story is very, very short.
Yes, it's short.
The vice president finally found his voice, and because
Was he looking for it?
for years he's been very quiet, especially when issues of national interest that you would have
Thought that he would lend his voice to.
because apart from the fact that he's vice president of Nigeria, he is a professor of law and is senior advocate of Nigeria at that. So there are issues of national interest that I would always have loved to hear him, but he's always mute. But somehow,
How did you find
well, he went to a traditional ruler's palace, I think in Ekiti or something, and as usual, they were promising security. We will secure the lives of Nigeria. He went there to say
We're waiting for
Let's
action.
Let's wait and see.
Sorry,
sanctions.
You know why the story actually, what I was even going to get from the story is it was talking about his emphasis was on the military. They were going to get weapons, ammunitions, and all that for the military. But I would say that security challenges we have in Nigeria is a bit local. So the military cannot really handle. I would have.
I think that we should leave.
No, wait,
vice
just
president.
wait. No, not just the vice president. I'm talking about the security situation.
Yeah, no, but
no, he was hammering on the militarization of all this and all that. And I would say that I think we need to start from community policing. That will go a long
we'll
way.
take this topic
Not the military.
day.
Yes, ma, we are running out of time. Yes.
I'll quickly take my story. So mine says, CBN, farmers move to reduce the price of rice. So the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Rice Farmers Association have concluded plans to distribute 27,000 metric tons of rice paddies directly to millers nationwide. So hopefully this will bring down food prices. The government is really trying their best to, well, they say they're trying their best.
Exactly,
right,
I like that.
to impact food prices. But I mean, at this point in time, anything is a win. I hope that it trickles down and we feel the effects very quickly. But we wait and see what will happen in the different states where we have rice farming going on.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that we will take a break now and we'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're all familiar with the phrase, "it's a man's world," and sadly, it still holds true. Today, even as women continue to smash glass ceilings and achieve great things, patriarchy is defined as a social system in which men hold primary power and predominate in roles of political leadership, moral authority, social privilege, and control of property. When culture is based on this dominator model, not only will it be violent, but it will frame all relationships as power struggles, and the struggle is real. In conversations about patriarchy, you will often see the usual groups and narratives loudly supported, from the men taking the stance of it is simply male bashing, to the women who speak of oppression. Perspective is everything, and each side can argue their case somewhat convincingly. Truth is, patriarchy affects everyone, and most especially relationships. How, you may wonder? Well, let's look at the man who struggles to deal with his emotions and can only express himself via anger, violence, or silence, and struggles to deal with having a female boss or a more successful wife. Let's look at the woman who cannot find her voice and has been raised with certain constructs of what her life should be, regardless of her hopes and dreams, who constantly worries about the consequences of her every action in a world where a man seemingly has no cares about his. The list is endless, so tonight we're breaking it down and hopefully we can learn a thing or two. Please let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp message to 0818-038-4663. So important. Where do we start? Let me ask an important question, and maybe I'll start with Noma.
Again.
Do you think... yeah, I like that. Very viable.
Because of the blue thing.
You know it's good.
Do you think that, do you agree rather, that patriarchy affects relationships? And if you do, has it affected your relationship? I wouldn't say your, because it could be a different kind of relationship. And how have you dealt with it?
Patriarchy affects relationships because basically who we are, we're a product of the environment that raises us, the background, the emotional experiences that we go through in life. These three things are very key to who we experience on a daily basis, be it man or woman. So when you have people who have been programmed to think that the man is superior to the woman, you know, even when they don't want to think that way, even when they don't agree. But because this is something that they've heard time and time again, that is what forms their worldview. That is how they see themselves. So you see people growing up to be dominant, aggressive. You see some others grow up to be submissive, very timid. They can't even express themselves. But given different circumstances, they can actually, you see them in another light, you're like, is it the same person? So it's just the information that we've been handed over from generation to generation. Culture has, I've met people who think that, but fortunately for me, I learned, I had a military father, and my father was, with him, it was obey the last order. So we learned to be independent, because he made you to do things. He made you to think. He made you to show up irrespective of the situations or the circumstance that you find yourself. There's always a way. You have to fix it. So I have siblings, 7 of them who are strong, very independent, resilient women and men, right? But meeting people now who have come from the worldview where the woman is supposed to be down, it's hard. Because sometimes they're like, what gives you the right, as in what gives you the confidence? What gives you the permission to express yourself in this way? And you're wondering, how is that a problem? I have something to say and I need to say it. So it's not a lot of people. So I've had confrontation with people. I've had people tell me that you're too out there. You know, you're too out there. Can you like tone it down a little? I'm like, I'm so sorry, but that is who I am. So I want to start with that point that we are a product of the handlers or the culture or the environment or the emotional experiences that raised us. So from that perspective, that's how we're going to see life. And unfortunately in Nigeria, majority of people were raised in that place where the man is in control.
If I may step in there, because she said something about in Nigeria.
I think
totally,
it's universal.
Aside from it being universal, Nigeria on its own, the culture we have in Nigeria,
or in Africa,
is
I think
in Nigeria. Because if you juxtapose it with the culture we have in Ghana, they work basically 4 times a week, but in Nigeria we work 5 times a week. In everything we do in Nigeria, it has to do with some sort of, there's a relationship with patriarchy, basically. And why am I saying this, basically? Let me just give you the definition of the effect we have of patriarchy, which says that patriarchy affects men in, they become sexually aggressive, they have sexual assault, there is substance abuse, there is negative mental health, there is domestic violence, negative parenting techniques, and expectations. And currently, we are practically going through everything I have just stated here in Nigeria. There's domestic violence. Why am I saying this? Our work culture is aggressive. It's so aggressive in such a way that we do not think outside working. We are always working. And what are those things that actually make us think outside that environment? It's the relationship we have with the people around us. But at the end of the day, the men still bring that work culture to the house, which they now use to dominate the women. And if you take it back to the cultural environment, which we are coming from our different spaces of tribes, basically, it's still predominant because the men feel that, oh, they're entitled and they're superior to the women, and they're giving more relevance in respect of how they treat women, basically. So our culture, our environment is already aggressive and patriarchal.
I will let Lami say what she wants to say before I respond.
No, I was going to say that I don't think that patriarchy is unique to Africa or even Nigeria. That I think it transcends all cultures. It might, the degree is just what
yes,
that's different.
That's
and you were asking a question that how does patriarchy affect relationships? And I would say patriarchy actually affects the men more than it affects women.
True.
They are not allowed to express emotions.
Yes.
They bottle up the emotions. financially, the man wants to be the head of the home when he doesn't even have the capacity.
Not all the time.
How do you mean?
Not all the time.
All the time. All the time. Men, despite the fact that they don't have the capacity, they don't want their wives to work so that they won't be seen as weak men. They don't want their wives to take decisions. You might not agree with me, but that's what I think is prevalent.
I'm just listening.
So it does affect men more than it affects women, from my own
So
angle.
I agree with you about it affecting men more. I think that the construct or the way that we have spoken about patriarchy so much has been from the perspective of women, and I think that feminism has had a huge part to play
Exactly.
in talking about it. But I made a conscious effort when we were going to talk about this topic today to say, you know what, I need to understand how it affects men, because that narrative all the time that when you talk about patriarchy, you know, it's like you're bashing the man. But actually, when you look at it from the perspective of relationships,
They're also
men
victims.
suffer. They're victims as well. And the fact that the way we're raised has a huge part to play in it.
Absolutely.
I was watching a documentary about a lady who was talking about patriarchy, and she talked about 3 generations of her family, of her grandmother, her mother, and herself. And she says, in truth, because her grandmother was born when she was born, that's why she's here today, because knowing her grandmother is very similar to her in personality, and she doesn't want to have children. So if her grandmother had been born in today's time,
She wouldn't have had
she
children.
wouldn't exist.
Exactly.
Because her own mother won't have existed. So it was a different narrative for her, for her grandmother. And then when her mother was being raised, it had reduced and it had relaxed a little bit. So her mother got to work and got to do a lot more things. And then she's living a completely different life. But like we said, this is someone who lives outside of Nigeria. We know that things are changing. Women are getting to do so much more. We're shattering ceilings. There's not enough of us, to be fair. We're a long way away from equity. And it differs in so many parts of the world. I think that to a certain extent, it occurs here differently, because when I stop to think about a lot of our employers, if I think about the thriving sectors we have here, what's it called now? Banking, telecoms, gender doesn't really factor in pay. Pay is flat here, the way our
Yes.
structure is. So
Yes.
our problems are different. Abroad, they'll tell you, oh, a man earns more than a woman, there's a disparity.
Yeah.
But in our own reality, it's about the relationships. That's where it plays
Yeah.
more here.
Exactly.
You hear that tussle. Now you see women pushing back. I make my own money. Like you said, the man is trying to be the head of the home. But now so many men want to ask you, what are you bringing to the table before we do this,
Yes.
But still, he still wants to exert authority over you, despite the
true.
fact that you're bringing your money to the table. So they need to choose. Do you want to be the head of the home or not?
I was wondering what we were going to say. I was going to add fire to this conversation. It's true. Because, there is value in that statement that says, if I'm in the old days, our parents didn't work. Our mothers were at home, everything, father go work, breadwinner, provider, and all of that. So today now, that narrative is changing. I want you to work, but I still want you to be domesticated.
Thank you. We're sharing
Thank you.
financial responsibility. We're sharing financial responsibilities, but we're not sharing the household chores.
Because they were not trained in that way.
Then don't share financial responsibilities with me.
Let me take
Just be the head.
Just be the head. How
Through
do
But let
and
me
through.
ask you that, would you be
what
able to
is-
cope with that?
How do you mean?
If today your husband was sole provider and said, Lami, don't work. sit
Never.
at
It's
home."
never going to work.
So you
Why
also
is
need
that?
to pick your cake and,
No, that's what I'm saying. That so this issue of the head of the family and all that, I think we need to reduce. It's not practical in the modern world anymore. Economic realities.
No,
I think that being the head of the home is actually overrated. And to an extent, it's the two people involved. Where you see a clash of responsibility is when the two people have no idea what they're doing. So based on the training that they've gotten, what do you even mean by being the head of the home? What does it mean to be head of the home? Do they really know what it means to be head of the home? Is it just to show up and say, oh yes, where's my food, this and that? Being the head of the home is like being the rock. It's like being the foundation. It's like being everything, whether it's the priest over the home or, all of this. So it's a whole lot of responsibility, right? Are you ready for that? That's part 2. a lot of people just have this impression of what it is, but in actual sense, it's the other way around. And then when their manhood or womanhood is being yes,
or challenged,
then they rise up as either feminists or
the man.
I'm for the man. What do you mean? I'm the man of the home. This and that. It's for people to realize, first of all, what are we doing? And who is, it's just like in every company, for example, and I have a friend, I mean, he will always say, if people ran their homes and their relationships like a business, then more relationships will thrive. Because in that understanding, everybody knows, oh, yeah, we're all working, but somebody has to represent the company as the CEO. No, not everybody can be the CEO. But we need someone to represent when situations come up. So the same thing in the family front or in a relationship. When you begin to question, when I begin to question my husband's place, then there's already a problem.
There's a problem, yeah.
There's already a problem. And there are a lot of people who have no understanding of what this means. It's just something that has been moved from one generation to the other. So they just come up and say, oh, I'm the head. How?
And even if
So
you
let me hold you. Let me
Okay.
stop you there, Issy. I think where you've hit the nail on the head. And when we
Okay.
get back, we're going to break that down.
Okay.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
There has to be a decision point. The way your baby's presenting, we have to rush you in. And my partner at the time was like, "You going to cut her? Are you going to cut her? Is it going to leave a scar?" And I said, "What? Am I a belly dancer? What is the problem here?"
No, I'm vulnerable about the future of the children, the future of mine and the future of the generation of my children.
I want to have nude pictures taken. Of you? Yes,
Yeah,
but
we
without
had that
showing my
conversation.
private parts. I want to put it in my front room. And they said, you can't do that. People will be embarrassed when they came into your house. I said, well, it's my body and it's my front room.
All the things that we do, what is the purpose of it?
I just realized that I was more trusting before I was 6.
So many women, they just feel like I have to cook for my husband, I have to breastfeed my children, I have to pick them from school.
Because society
Then you
expects them
go
to.
home and you cry and you stop your career, you can't do anything, then you blame everybody. You took that choice.
If you've just tuned in, it's our Ladies' Night Out, and we're talking about the impact of patriarchy on relationships. Please let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp message to 0818-038-4663. So, back to where we were about to strike a match. So let's strike it. So Norma said, she was talking about the head of the home. And I'm going to ask this question. In defining the head of the home, does it have to do with finances and being the breadwinner? Because I think that it is possible to be the head of the home and not be the highest earner in the home.
It's not possible.
It is virtually impossible.
Nothing.
It is not possible.
It is not possible.
Why?
Because, first, let me start from the Bible, right?
Well,
Adam had his role. Eve had her role, which is what? Give birth. Did Adam share her part of the punishment? No. It was Eve bearing her punishment. So what was Adam's own?
Till the
Provide.
ground. You must till.
You must
and
till the soil. So you must do what you're. In fact, let me speak Nigerian English.
Yes.
You must go to that farm and till that soil.
Yes. The moment
you
a woman
say?
is sharing with you,
Why?
you have lost your role, then your position.
okay.
Whether
It's not
who pays the
possible.
piper dictates the
Take the
tune
tune
now.
That's
I-
why.
You
That's why.
can't.
That's why.
So-
That's
You
why
are
we
not
still see a
providing.
situation whereby the man now tells the woman, "Oh, you've made the money. Still bring that money, then we will share it. Or
And
I
you
will
now be
give
the
I
man.
will give you your
Then are
toxic
you-
money."
So that's
in
where
the
I think the
process.
problem
So
is.
that's
So
wrong.
hang on.
The
Whilst
man
we
should
are lighting
provide.
the fire, I think we should invite our viewers to join us. Our phone line is now open. Please remember when you call, please turn down the volume of your TV and let's keep our submissions brief. You can see the ladies have a lot to say.
But Uti, honestly, Uti, in your mind, though,
So
don't say because you're on
seriously.
TV.
No, so
say
let
the
me tell
truth.
you what I'm trying to say. It is possible, right, that the head of the home is not defined by the financial aspect. You can lead without it being from a financial point of view. It is
How?
the mindset that comes behind it.
Okay, you know why? Sorry to.
Let her land. Let her land.
I'm sorry, my body's hot.
Let her land.
Let her.
By nature, by biology, women are not providers.
We're not providers,
Wait.
but we're nurturers.
Wait.
So
Wait. The moment women begin to provide, there will be no peace in that home because it's not natural for us.
no.
And let me tell you something.
it is
Men
you-
become very sensitive the moment their wives are earning
More.
earning more than
But
that.
it depends on the
Men
man,
can-
though.
have been
A
trained
lot of
depends
men.
on the man,
A
though.
lot of men.
in that regard.
A lot of men.
Yes,
so
like,
there,
it
has to
depends
be, there
on
will
the
be
man.
struggles
let's
in
not
the home.
generalize, and this is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
If we generalize, yes, you will find that a lot of men, that's why we're having this conversation,
Absolutely.
have been programmed. But the question for me, Noma touched on a very serious point. How do you, because for me, if you have to tell me that you're the head of the house, you failed already. It is possible for you to assert. Now, there is the place that says that you as a woman who is earning more, have you also positioned yourself in a way where it now becomes all about money? It is possible for a relationship not to center around money. That's all I'm trying to say. So if we're talking
that
about
It's supposed to
a
be.
leadership,
But in
if we're-
practice, is
if-
it like that?
No. So it's not about practice now.
Yeah.
It's about, first of all, what we're defining, what we're agreeing is possible. The reality of it is that majority of men, majority of relationships center around money. That's why I feel that we have so many of the problems that we have today. Because we've heaped one problem on top of another that are not supposed to be associated. But of course, we know money is important. In a relationship, the things that bring in pressure are what bring out maybe the negative side of us. But I'm saying that if you just take two people, a man and a woman, in a relationship, maybe with children, and we take money off the table. Imagine if both were equally rich. You have money, I have money.
I think it was.
Okay, just hold on that statement. We have a caller. We have Francis from Delta. Francis, can you hear us? Hi, Francis.
Hello.
Hello, Francis.
Hello?
Are you there? Can you hear us?
I think
Okay. Noma, please go. We'll hopefully get him back.
I mean, okay, a popular figure said something, on Instagram. She said, a relationship where the two people are powerful, they combine forces to become even more powerful.
Powerful, yeah.
Right? So I keep hammering on the fact that it's the mindset that has brought us to where we are today, because a lot of men don't even know what it means to be the head of the home.
Agreed.
It's not about how much you bring. There are men who may bring all the money, but emotionally, you can't rely on them.
Okay.
Physically, you can't rely on
I
them.
think Francis is back. Francis,
Yes.
can you hear us? Hi, Francis. Are you there? No, I think we'll
Sorry,
try.
Norma. I was going to say.
Let's have
Hold it,
finish.
hold it,
Let
hold
her
it,
finish.
hold it. In other aspects, sometimes we hinge on the financial, well, maybe because it's a very, very strong part of
Plays a
relationships,
huge
right?
role.
But it's someone who, there are people who have relationship and you don't even know that the woman is the one providing.
I
But
agree.
because the woman understands that it's not about the money, and the man understands his place
Thank you.
as the head of the home, even though he's not the one bringing in majority of the finances. Everybody understands their place. So the relationship can work. If the two people, that's why they say relationships are not for boys and girls. They're for men
and women.
They're for women. People who understand what are the expectations between one another and they're able to meet up with those expectations. So I don't, so when I see people struggle in the area of, okay, maybe the man was providing and then suddenly he loses his job.
I agree.
Oh, I think we have Francis.
Hello?
Francis, are you there?
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. Let's hear what you have to say.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. You see, when God made this world, He made man. He made man, and from man He made woman. And woman is the last creation of the Creator. And when Adam woke up, he saw a woman, he was happy, and God was jealous. Therefore, a man is the head of a home. He cares his family. No matter how the circumstances, that is, maybe a woman has more money than a man, he should be submissive to the husband, so that the home will be well managed. But if maybe the man is not well okay in finance, you must have to assist and make sure that your home is okay. If you are not driving a man, you see that is why women in the Western world have diversity, plenty of diversity. But in Africa, we have little of them.
Thank you, Francis.
Therefore, I'm not trying to inform you that no matter how rich a woman is, a man is the head of a home. But a man should not be lazy to perform his duty.
Thank you very much, Francis. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
What I was going to say when Yama was talking is that is the way it's supposed to be. Finance should not be a big role. Yes. But the problem is men, because of the way they are structured, most men, the moment a woman is in that position, they begin to struggle. Do you understand? They begin to be very, very sensitive, and then you will now find power tussle.
You find that in a man who is insecure.
Yeah.
In most cases.
But
if the man he owns his space, basically. So in some ways, you're correct. But there are some things that I would also say. Yes, there are some things I will also take from that, which is that the fact that men, there are secure men and there are men that are insecure. Now the problem actually lies with men who are insecure, that tend to want to, dominate the woman no matter what she thinks or feels. And let's also look at it from also the perspective of how we're also raising our boy child, in the context that they are supposed to come back home, when they see their father come back from work, sits down on the table, raises legs, and the woman comes back from work and still goes back into the kitchen to cook. They look at it like it's normal. So it's based on how we also train the boy child to also reason and the mindset of the boy child. So also look at it from the context of the fact that the men feel, after the context of them being or feeling insecure, basically. Let's look at also the concept of them also, I think I'm losing my thoughts.
I just wanted to quickly say something, because when Francis was talking, and Francis really needed to make his point because he kept calling back, the concept of submitting, it plays a huge role in this narrative of patriarchy.
Yes. I didn't just want to react.
So I'm going to hold on to that point. We have Femi from Ibadan. Hi, Femi, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hi, Femi, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you for the discussion. I think where there is love, a woman will not have problem submitting to the authority of the husband.
I agree.
If things are normal.
Yes.
And the man himself should not behave like a dictator. If you have a problem of submission from your wife, there are other fundamental issues that are there. A woman should or willingly submit in love. But when you have, you brought this, you didn't bring this, this is my money. I've seen couples whereby for years the wife was the one providing for the family, and you won't know where there's love. But in many relationships that I see presently, even before marriage, even before the wedding day, there are already contentions and there are
finances,
fights, quarrels that are under on the surface, everything looks okay, but beneath, they are already undercurrent. So when it comes to the issue of money, it manifests itself such that there will be this rancor of if you call yourself the man, then come and submit and bring the money, bring this. So I think where there's love, that's the summary.
Thank you, Femi.
It doesn't matter who brings. Yeah.
Thank you. I think you've hit the nail on
That's
the
a
head.
valid point.
Matter.
So that's what
That's
I
a
was trying
valid
to
point.
say. Because I have seen relationships like Femi just said, where the woman loves the man so much. The man loves the woman.
Absolutely.
Their expectations of each other in the relationship don't center around
The
money.
finances. I agree.
It is at the point when expectations start to shift because things have come in that have impacted. You know, I always tell people, you think you're in love, be angry. Love is the first thing that goes out the door when you are really angry. So the thing is, other things happen that start to chip away at this love. And then one day you find yourself saying, and what are you even doing? How much are you bringing to the table? That's what happens. So we've unfortunately now made it all about money. So when we talk about submission, what we talk about is
money.
Is money.
Really, bring the money.
But at the end of
You
the
know
day, it still
why?
depends on the mindset of the man who is actually interacting with the woman,
But I think-
and the way he actually tells the woman, which is what Femi said, the way he tells the woman to bring the money. Because some men, believe me, some men are very, very brash about it. They tell you, Madam, where is your money? Bring it. No, this is not love. This is order.
If you
it's
really
dominance.
love the woman, would you?
It's
Do
dominance.
you think they would?
Look, sometimes you said something. When the man is angry with the woman, love goes out the window. So basically, now he's looking at the money. Some men can be so self-centered, you'll be shocked how self-centered they can be. So basically, based on this, it is all about the way you actually talk to someone. There's a parable that says that a soft word
Turns away rough.
It softens a hard heart. So even if you had the mindset that you were going to do something very harsh, basically, the moment the man talks to you, say, look, this is what it is. Basically, we need to sort this, we need to sort this. Please, can you just, assist with ABC? That makes sense. Not a situation whereby you tell me, come on, bring it over here and sort it out.
I'll
if I
take
may
a
say, Uche.
comment just before we go in, because this is from Ade. He says, good evening, ladies. Patriarchy affects men than women because men are meant to be the breadwinner of the family. So men go the extra mile to maintain a good and stable family. Ladies, please spend your hobbies' money and shine. Women are beautifully made by God without any stress. See why I had to read it? We have one more, and this one says, thanks, Norma, for analyzing who the head of the home is. Can you please break down that point further? And that's Chidi from Magua. I think we've done that. Lami, you were going to say something.
I lost my line of thought. But okay, I remember that when he was saying men go the extra mile.
Yes.
If you look at it, there are more widows than widowers. And it's because of what? It's because of patriarchy.
Do you have that statistic?
It is the truth.
Do you have that
A lot of
statistics?
men die before their wives. I don't need to
A
do
lot
it.
of men die before there was
we-
a lot
of
of
course,
women
we have
die
another
No,
before.
a lot of
Guys,
men. There are a lot
we have
of
another
widows.
call from Bielsa. Steve. Hi, Steve. Are you there? Hi, Steve. Can you hear us?
Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
I am with you. Good evening.
Let's hear what you have to say.
Yes. Good evening. Yes. All the ladies there, I greet all of you. Yes. My point is there is no man. There is no man that will marry and compete with his wife. You see, ladies, when you have the money, yes, every man works to control his family. The man will work out for money to his feet, to take care of his family, right?
Steve, can you turn
When
down
you
the volume of your
money,
TV set?
The ladies will talk about who is going to take care of the house.
Hi, Steve. Can you hear me?
Oh, it's like, hello?
Hello, yes. Can you turn down your TV? It's creating an echo.
Yes, it's done. It's done.
Okay. Let's hear what you have to say,
Hello?
please. I think we'll have to have
Yes,
Steve come back.
Even in the Bible, God created woman.
I think we'll have to come back to Steve. Yes, please go ahead.
Right. So, you know, when you think about it, you realize that all of this has been created by the way we think here. And I've seen so many relationships work, and I've also seen so many relationships crumble because of people's perception. And then they bring these things to the table, they bring it into their relationships. You haven't known who I am, you're already demanding that, okay, what am I earning? Am I going to bring it to the table? So guess what? As much as we have insecure men, we also have insecure women. So people who are holding and say, I'm going into this relationship, and if anything happens, I'm checking out. Because of the stories, because of the things that they've heard. So they want to safeguard themselves. Some people people have reason to be scared about relationships because you're a product of where you're coming from. Except you consciously begin to change that perception and see the possibility of having these things, it won't work, no matter how you want to try it. There are women who are blessed
I think
to
we
be
have
resourceful.
another caller. Austin from Benin. Hello, Austin. Good evening.
Phone lines are buzzing.
I know, right? Hi, Austin. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Good evening, Austin. Let's hear what you have to say.
Hello.
Good evening, Austin. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, are you hearing me? I'm calling from Benin.
Thank you. Let's hear what you have to say.
Okay. Where is...
I think, Austin, you have to turn down your TV set. It's creating an echo as well.
Hello?
Can you turn the volume down on your TV, please?
Hello?
Not sure he can
Okay,
hear
I
us.
think let's continue.
So there are women who are resourceful.
Yes.
And with team effort, just let them, they have ideas, they have connections, they have people resource, human resource, material resource. And because of your being head, you stifle a blessing.
Yeah.
And then there's women also, or men who are gifted in, providing, so to speak. That a woman is providing or helping. Is she not helpmate?
Yeah.
When the man can't provide, can the woman not help provide?
Of course.
And they do so happily.
Absolutely. Those that will do so happily. So
Yes.
you find people struggling. There are men who can provide and they want their women to take care of the home front. It's the two people. For somebody else, they will say, I cannot sit down at home and take care of things and I must go out there too. You are your person and you can make your own decisions. But basically, I think that the more we can change our narrative of what patriarchy is doing in relationships.
But
This is the thing with opening the phone lines.
Yeah.
Austin, I think you're back. Hi, Austin. Can you hear us?
Wow.
Hello?
Hi, Austin. Please go ahead.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm calling from Benin. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Hello?
I think we'll have to
Yes,
go
I'm
ahead.
hearing you, but... Okay. My contribution goes like this. When they say the man is the head of the home, when they say the man is the head of the home, what it means is that... Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello?
Okay, I think we might have to move on. I don't think Austin can really hear us. And, it's
What a lot of people attribute patriarchy to is dominance.
Yeah.
That's what they see.
But is that not what
But that's
it is?
what it is.
But that's
It's what it
simple
is.
truth.
But patriarchy could be something that could be empowering if we don't focus on the fact that it's all about dominance. It's
That's
not all
an
about
interesting
us.
So what else is
That's
it
an
about?
interesting point of view.
It's
But-
not all about dominance.
What else?
Lami.
It's what we've made it to be.
Because
Lami,
that's
don't
that's
beat
the
me up.
So Lami,
the
I will,
society.
hold on.
Yes.
This is
We
the thing.
can
I knew
change
the
that
time
narrative.
would fly by so quickly. So before you run into it, you have 1 minute to go.
talk.
No, I was going to ask her a question. If patriarchy is not about dominance, then what is it about?
No, I didn't say it's not about dominance. I said it's not
change.
only
Okay, so what other
dominance.
thing? What other
It can
thing?
be something positive.
It's
People
what she's
taking
trying-
responsibility,
what she's
people
trying-
owning their place, and everybody playing their roles in such a way that we make progress.
But that's not patriarchy anymore. Then that has to be equality.
Okay.
We are moving towards equality.
Okay.
Yes.
I agree.
Okay. So we really we have to wrap up. So Issy, I'm going to let you 30 seconds. Your final thoughts.
My final thought is this, that whether we have patriarchy in our society, yes, we do. But can we live with it? I think, like Norma said, we can make lemonade out of lemons. So let's try and live with them and try to survive through this madness.
I
Change the
personally,
mindset.
I don't think patriarchy works for anyone. I think we need to start to consciously, both men and women, find a way to find a better medium.
Yes.
It's our mindsets are changing, but it just needs to be a lot faster for us to be able to come together. But I think we've done justice to the fact that patriarchy affects relationships and affects both men and women. So thank you so much, ladies. It was I had an awesome time. So before we go, please ensure you follow us on Instagram at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and most importantly, we're planning a huge giveaway just to say thank you for watching and believing in the Ways brand and for following the conversation. So follow at PlusTvAfrica and like, share, comment, and invite your friends and family to watch and follow us. If you missed today's quote, here it is again. It's men who trust they will suffer no consequences for their actions, while women suffer no matter what they do. And that's by Megan McLean Ware. We've had a great conversation and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow at 8 p.m.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on PlusTvAfrica.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.